And we're on the air. Hey, everybody, I'm Richard, and welcome back to Beyond the Castle Wall, which is a dark fantasy Game of Thrones inspired hack of Beyond the Wall. And I've got my cast of players back, and we're already hard at work getting ready for this session. And I'm going to ask them to introduce their characters to you. Also, as you introduce your characters, talk about the flags. Flags are something you can use in any game, and they sort of build on things like drives or alignments, and they really kind of give other players a hint of how you want people to engage with your character and their story. So we will start with Krista Mead as Stig.
Oops, I am unmuted. Okay, good. So I'm playing Stig Wolfsig, and he goes by Stig. He is the sorcerer's apprentice. He and the others ended up killing his master when his master was summoning a demon and because he ended up killing his master instead of sacrificing one of the others. That was a choice that he made. And so now he has no master, and it looks like the demon is out and about. His flags are: my training with my master was brutal but effective. Ignore it or what I tell you, and I'll show you how wrong you are. But the second flag is: I got your back. Get into trouble and I'll protect cover for you. I'll probably chastise you after, but I won't let you down. And the line that you won't cross: won't summon a demon or do the work of a demon. And the ideal Stig clings to: ward the doors, ready the spells, the demon is coming.
And where were you, and what were you up to at the end of last session?
Let's see, at the end of last session, the scene I had was in the market with the animals talking about the animals being very nervous and saying that he's coming, there's no escape. I think, or something like that. Or he's
I think they were saying something about they were realizing that people were going to eat them.
Oh, that people were going to eat them. Oh, I missed that.
Yes.
Well, that's even darker. Well, wait, but it's just a regular market, so we're talking like cows and pigs?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But you generally don't want the animals to realize that their doom is imminent.
Yeah, and they were more nervous than usual, so you're saying that's not what they usually know. But
Right.
Figured that out. Okay.
Right.
And the other thing we had active was that Stig was talking with a traveling scholar that ended up accusing Stig of consorting with demons because he knew too much. And Ralph the innkeeper overheard this, so he's -2 charisma.
Oh, that's right.
So the rumor has ended, and Ralph has disappeared, so how's that rumor going to end?
Or at least he's -2 charisma when he's in the inn and around Ralph.
Yes, correct.
Or around people who were close to Ralph. And then we go to Leandro playing. Sorry, I lost my. It's there, Gloria.
Yeah, so I'm playing Gloria. She is the god haunted, which means that the gods are in her head, talking to her, influencing her, probably. She is the child of a mercenary group called the Sable Scythe. They're kind of not ruthless, but kind of straight edge, I guess, in that they're very professional and efficient. But she left them because she had a weird reputation. She wanted to strike out for herself. She left with a member of that mercenary group named Xander, who we'll talk about more with another character, possibly. And yeah, she just followed him to Stone's Pass, where all the characters are. And she's gonna settle herself there. It's kind of like a resident oddball, I guess, because she hears the voice of the god, specifically a god named Kyrie, a ambiguously gendered divinity of agriculture, fertility, marriage, and the underworld. And she's picked up a few things from learning from that god, mostly spells and abilities of the old holy wanderers. My first flag is believe and act on a lie I've told you. And flag 2 is get me to speak of my life beyond our mission. And the line she won't cross is needless death, as in, pointless that won't amount to anything, sort of death. And the ideal she clings to is the gods are aids, not authority. So she knows they exist, but she's kind of like, no, that doesn't mean that they're gonna rule over her.
Nice. Okay. All right. And then next we have Maria playing Aitor.
All right, so Aitor is the second in line to the Drestfall family line. His ideal is you only live once. So he's the wild one. So he's all about, well, he's about not necessarily complying with going to his parents, to being around his parents or his legacies, or bloodlines, things, but doing his own thing. His line is that he won't create bastards because of things that have happened in the past. His two flags are allow me to go head first into danger, even though the odds are against me, and challenge my leadership if I make up a decision that goes poorly.
Nice. And finally, Mark playing Lyssa. Mark, you may be on mute. Or
can you hear me? Okay.
No,
sorry.
I can.
There we go.
I accidentally hit. There's a mute button on my headphone. Lyssa is how I'd like to pronounce her name.
Lyssa, sorry.
No worries. So I am third in line. I don't know.
Third.
Well, I'm saying like I might be even lower if there are like uncles or cousins or some arcane mess. But I'm Aitor's twin, or he's mine, depending on who you ask. And my ideal that I cling to is to study before taking action. The thing I absolutely will not do, my line I will not cross, is I will not betray the family. I expect that to be difficult to interpret at times. Flag number 1, ask me an innocent question that is trying to get me to reveal my sexual orientation. And flag number 2 is go with the plan I've offered to please me, even though it is obviously foolish. My character is known probably to some because I speak to crows and ravens, and I know that that's something that Stig and I bond over, since Stig has a raven familiar, and there was some talk of engineering as well, an aptitude or some books towards it. So I've got a dark cloak and 21 silver. I'm ready to go. I want a map of the castle.
All right. But who else was in or near the market? I think it was Aitor.
Aitor was in the market, yeah.
It's your younger friend, Roland, was commenting that the animals were wild and sort of uncontrollable that day, or that morning.
Roland, yes.
And the gates are open. The market is on. The guard is coming and going, and it's otherwise a very, very typical morning. Lyssa, what are you up to? You were up in the nest last night, and you woke up with a, the market already, going and in full swing.
Right, and I had a weird dream last night where some ghostly figure came to me. So, you're just asking me what I'm doing, or
Right.
I'm sneaking down and trying to get back to my room where I can bathe and get dressed.
Okay. And what about you, Gloria? What are you doing this morning? Where are you?
So what happened last night is she was sleepwalking, and
Right.
No,
and
that was 3 nights ago.
oh, was that 3 nights ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, right. Mhm.
All right. What was she doing? She is.
What's a normal morning look like for you?
I guess maybe I haven't established where she actually stays. I might as well get really goth and say that there's a small shack next to a graveyard outside near the castle walls.
Oh, nice. Okay.
if that's not too much.
That's not too much. I mean, I'm sure the Lord and Lady have set aside rooms for you since they're very interested in your connection with the old gods. But that may not be. That doesn't mean that's where you stay. And since you're not one of their kids, it's hard for them to really just sort of exert authority over you, the way they exert authority over everybody else. So staying in that small shack. And what does your morning routine look like?
I can say it's she's transcribing her dreams. Like usually people dream of could be anything, but because her dreams does have a source, she tries to write them down. Like she's written down that dream she had 3 days ago of Stone's Pass being covered by vines and everyone just walking around ignoring it. She thought it was relevant. Yeah, because she thought it was relevant because I don't know, horse. A phantom horse showed up when she woke up. And,
right. There were the phantom horses and
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So I think the dream she's transcribing is pretty much that again. And repeated dreams aren't that common. They've happened, but she notices this anyway.
All right. You also noticed that the market this morning is sort of at once quieter than it normally is, but the sounds coming for it are animal anxiety sounds. It's not like, some cattle are lowing and some pigs are snorting as they roll in mud. It's more the whinnying and whines of animals that are nervous, just consistently coming from the market. And Lyssa, you notice that the number of crows in the castle is higher than it normally is. I mean, you're already Crow's Watch, so crows tend to gather here, if for no other reason than the castle tends to have a lot of food tossed out that crows can pick at. But even before breakfast is tossed out or the breakfast scraps are tossed out, the crows are already sort of like circling and landing and picking about and getting up into the towers. Everything is sort of on edge, and as Stig noticed, for market day, it's normally a very pleasant experience. It's a time to listen to animals. It's a time to hear what animals say. but everything seems to be on edge. In fact, Stig, do you want, if you go ahead and make a check your wisdom.
Roll for your party.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do we have a?
Oh yeah. Sorry.
I don't know if I kept the old one. Let me see if this is it. Oops.
1 second.
Yep, I got it. I got the old one.
Oh, cool. I will also just repost it for people who need it. Thank you. I should know that. I've been using the same room for months. There we go. Okay.
So you said wisdom, so that means it died 20. What do you wish to say? It died 20. That one is.
Yeah.
Remember, do I want low or high?
You
Low.
want, for ability checks, you want low. You want under your wisdom or under.
Okay, I got a 3.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah. Unlike normal market days, Stig, even the rats have not come out. Market days are the official feast days of rats, and even the rats are being timid and not coming out. As are the birds.
So what does Ebony say about this?
Your crow?
Yeah.
Did you match with Ebony from the forest? Or was Ebony bred to this life? Do you think?
I think she was. I think I probably found her or summoned her in the forest. Or actually, why would it even be the forest? With my master, it means I probably did it in the castle from one of the towers.
Nice. Ebony's like, Ebony whispers in your ear in sort of the language only you understand, without even making a loud cawing sound. And just says they know too much. They're going to break. They're going to break very, very soon.
But how do they know too much?
Aitor, in the stables, one of the horses just starts rearing back and trying to get out of its stall. And Roland just has popped the beam that braces the stall in place, and when the horse just starts pounding on it, like rearing back and like landing its hooves right on it. Lyssa, the crows all start to like caw at the same moment, very, very loudly. And Gloria, you can hear all of this sort of, or you can start to hear more and more sound. Horses whinnying now, dogs starting to bark from the graveyard. What are you doing as the tension seems to be building, Gloria?
I think she's emerging from shock. Like she can feel the tension, and think, yeah, she can see. Yeah, just looking from this map, she can see the market. Well, not obviously she can't see the cacophony, but like she can feel it around her. So she's emerged out of the small shack and right in the middle of the graveyard.
You've emerged from that small shack. And I'd like
I would like to note that the shack is in an elevated area, so you can see into the market, kind of, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be hard to like maybe see to the market, but you can definitely hear from the market. And you can see the town. Now on market day, the town tends to be sort of like packed. with people coming in and people bringing animals and starting to take away animals. But Gloria, as you come out of your shack, I'd like you to check wisdom. Actually, I'd like you to make a saving throw versus spell.
Okay.
You want to roll equal to or over, excuse me.
So to roll d20
Yeah,
as
and
well?
try to get a 12 or higher.
Okay. I got a 20.
Nice. You come out. And in a part of the graveyard that has either not been used recently or has been sort of relaid over with fresh dirt to make room for new graves. You see a new grave being dug. By a figure all in black. And then you don't see it anymore. The grave and the figure are gone. Stig, you're down in the market and you were about to ask a question of Ebony. What was your question to Ebony? Or you were asking a question of Ebony?
Yeah, I was asking Ebony, Ebony, but how do they know? Why do they know now? Why they haven't known in the past? And what's up with the crows?
Someone who speaks the language told them, and the crows are here to see things die. And with that, Stig, you see in the area where people are trying to bring all like the cattle together, a bull just rush and charge towards a merchant stall. It just breaks through the makeshift fence. And then all of a sudden, all the other cattle are starting to follow the bull. Kind of hesitantly at first.
Okay, then Stig is going to try and approach the bull from the side and use his beastkin to talk to it. And try.
Now the bull has sort of gone into a rush. 1 second. Skim down. So the bull is sort of launched into a rush. Are you going to try to catch up with it? Or are you trying to cut off the other cattle so it doesn't follow them? What do you want to do? I just want to make sure you understand how fast the bull is moving and how violent it looks.
Okay, I'm gonna actually send Ebony. I say, Ebony, go blind it. Keep it so that it can't see where it's going. Distract it to just slow it down.
And let's roll initiative real quick. Which doesn't mean we're necessarily getting in a fight, but I think it's important now to sort of know sort of what's going on or in what order people are doing things.
Okay, so we roll die sixes.
You're gonna roll a d6, add your dexterity bonus.
And who is rolling initiative? Everyone or just?
Let's go ahead and do everybody, because I feel like at this point it's important to figure out who's doing what in what order.
What are we rolling it?
So you roll a d6, and you're going to add your dexterity bonus, which for Gloria would be a -1.
So Stig got 7.
Nice.
I thought our initiative was our level plus our dex bonus.
Oh, right, yeah. So what your whole initiative bonus? I apologize.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
so
not-
your whole initiative bonus, not just. So Gloria's is 0.
and Stig's is 8. He rolled an 8. He has an initiative bonus.
I rolled a 6.
I rolled a 5.
Nice.
I have an 8.
So I think it sounds like Stig and Lyssa are going first, and then Aitor and the animals will get to react at essentially the same moment. And then Gloria, kind of reflecting the fact that you're a little bit away from the rest of the town. And I'm going to play fast and loose with space and time here, but I just kind of wanted to get a sense of the order things were going in. Stig, you're sending Ebony to try to flap its wings and sort of drive the bull off course, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Since Ebony has become part of an extension of you, I'd like you to roll your charisma. And you're trying to get under.
Doesn't seem to be rolling. Hold on. I just cleared my roll. There we go. Got a 9.
Nice. The bull is deterred and sort of goes. There's people running out of its path, but it rears up, and the other cattle behind it seem suddenly like a little bit. They hesitate for a second as Ebony sort of flaps in that bull's face, and it sort of veers off course. It's running for a crowd of people now, but the people seem to be able to better get out of its way than a merchant stall is. Or they're more likely to be able to get out of its way than the merchant stall is. They're moving slow, but not as slow as the people trapped inside that stall would have been moving.
Is anybody else in the market with me? Any of the other player characters, I guess?
I don't think so, because I think
Either.
Lyssa, you're in the yard of the castle. Does that sound about right?
Yes.
Where you saw the crows, and they're starting to caw all at once. What are you doing? And they start to like surge towards the. They surge toward the castle gate, as if flying towards the town.
Okay. So I imagine that when the crows first started cawing, I was on the yard. I was petting my favorite dog that we have there, and then the crows burst into cacophony and then start swirling. So I rapidly, run up the wooden stairs and then make my way through the castle up to the wall over the gate, and I look downward, and I see some chaos in the market.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
So how does the language of crows thing work?
I think it's just.
Did she understand what they said when they all called at once?
I believe so, but I'll let Lyssa sort of tell me about that. So, but I think if that's kind of what you're paying attention to, you can hear that as they because when they caw, sometimes they're just making noise the way people make noise.
Sure.
I think as they all veer away, I think that's a good question, Maria. You hear them say death, 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 carrion, death.
Okay. I had planned on them just knowing that they were excited, but now I have an idea of what they're excited about. It doesn't seem natural to me. And once I've confirmed that there's something going on and not just some crazy crow convention going on, I'm going to gonna run back down and look for someone of authority. Maybe Tristan, maybe somebody, and tell them that there's something going on down in the market.
1 second as I check my NPC list. Yeah, I think you see the person who brought Gloria here, Xander, the head of the mercenary company.
Okay.
What are you telling him?
Something has happened in the market. There's chaos down there. We need order. Can your men provide that? Go.
Are you following them? Because they're getting ready to spring up.
If they're responding to my authority, that's great.
Yeah. I made a quick check. I mean, you're well liked by them, I think. So Xander's not a jerk.
I want to know what's going on. I'm excited. So
okay.
I will be going as quickly as I can. And if it comes down to it, like if there's one of them that I'm racing with, then that's even more excitement. So
nice. Why don't you make a dexterity check? Just try to roll equal to or under your dexterity.
Equal to or under my dexterity. Okay,
right.
My dexterity is a 16. So I will. I got an 18.
Yeah, you kind of stumble, and it takes you a moment to sort of rebalance. And just at that moment, in the not too far from the crowd, the bull has been diverted into. You see Maricia sort of standing around in the crowd. And looking a little bit stunned at everything that's going on as the crows start to circle the town or start to circle the market area. I believe that Aitor had a 6. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
All right.
And I'm in the stables at the market or the stables on the castle?
I believe the stables in the castle.
Okay.
Where the horses have started, at least the big stallion has started to sort of.
Okay.
And you hear all the other horses neighing, and that stallion is trying to. And you see the beam across the door crack, and Roland is moving towards it. What do you do?
I'm gonna grab Roland so he doesn't get in the way of the horse that's gonna rush him and trample him.
Why don't you make a check versus your? I'm gonna say strength, but I'll have you do it against your dexterity. Aitor is a quick one.
Aitor is more quick than strong, so which one?
Let's do it against your dexterity. Just roll and see if you get equal to or under.
All right. That is not equal to or under.
What'd you get?
14.
14.
And none of my things would help. So.
I'm so sorry. And you start to grab Roland as he goes to try to brace the beam from breaking. And then I believe that Gloria had a 5, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So did the animals. Gloria, what are you doing? Just kind of tell me what you're doing first.
Yeah. So she saw that figure disappeared when she was looking at it. So I think she's gonna try and sense if there's magic. There's like just more magic in the graveyard.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Okay, so I just had to look at the PDF. Apparently, it takes a few minutes. So
now I will tell you that I think Yeah, it takes a few minutes to sense magic. I will tell you, you got a sense that you got a divine vision,
Mm-hmm.
that something was
Okay.
amiss with the intention of causing death. I probably should have made you make a wisdom check for that, but you know, I didn't. I got ahead of myself there. But yeah, you're aware that something is amiss in town with the intention of causing death. That you got a vision from Kyrie. And it looks, you know, you probably would have gotten that anyway. It's an 18. But go ahead and make that check if you want to ask me a question about it, or if you want to surge in, if you want to race into town to see what's going on. You can do that.
No, I think Gloria is. Yeah, I think she's gonna head down to town. So she'll head down from the graveyard through the gate. She's kind of keeping a wide berth from the castle. I literally just came up with this 5 minutes ago. But I think the reason why she's in the graveyard is because the last time she was in the castle, she was going to be sacrificed to that demon by Stig's.
Oh, has she
master.
not stayed the night in the castle since that day? That time?
Yeah, I think that's why she's at the goth as fuck graveyard.
Oh, nice, awesome.
She's keeping away from the castle. She's gonna head down to the market.
Nice, yeah. So you're running down towards the market. Like I said, you know, space and time are going to bend to our will a little bit in this fight or this encounter. And at that same moment, most of the people clear off Stig, but you see the bull sort of snag one of the farmers. It doesn't really. It tried to gore him. Its horns have been sort of tipped and trimmed down, but it still snags his cloak, and it starts pulling him behind him. Marisia is not far away as the other cattle start to sort of regain their composure and start going after people in the start going after the bull. Not as fast or as decisively as they were going before you did, since Ebony sort of flew down in the bull's face and diverted it. But certainly that's happening. In the stables, Aitor, I'm going to need you to make a saving throw.
Against horse.
Against horse.
What is
against, let's call this saving throw versus polymorph or paralysis.
I see the logic.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I failed again.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
I got a 10 now, which would have been enough in the last time. So yay.
Aitor, you take oh wow, you take 1 damage.
Oh, okay.
As sort of the broken timbers of the door sort of collide with you after sort of Roland just sort of like obliviously walked away from you as you were trying to grip him and pull him away. And Roland gets badly stomped and knocked back by the horse. And the horse goes running out the door as the other horses start sort of pounding on their or bucking against their doors. They're not as big as that stallion, which is Tristan's stallion.
Of course, it's fucking Tristan's stallion.
But they are, they're certainly making headway. And some of the beams are starting to crack. I'd like everybody to roll a d6 again and add your initiative modifier. As the people in town just go scattering.
5.
Lyssa, Xander and his people seem to be sort of heading off some of the other cattle in town that are they're not you know, the group that you were able to dispatch is heading off the cattle, but that bull dragging the guy behind him is still going.
So you said the rest of the cattle are basically calming down. The other.
Yeah. Well, no, they're not calming down. They're being subdued by people, by multiple armed men running after them. Stig.
So I guess I'm going to run after the.
What did you get on your initiative?
I got an 8.
An 8. All right, you are first. Did anybody else get a 7 or an 8?
Oh.
I got a 9.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, sorry. That was Lyssa, correct?
Yes.
Okay, Lyssa, you go first.
Okay.
You can make it down to the market and act if you like, or do something else, or just let me know.
Okay. So Stig, what is it that you look like you're about to do?
Well, I guess it depends which direction the bull's running. If the bull's running towards the castle, then the bull's running towards.
The bull is not running towards the castle. It's sort of running out of town.
I tried. So I'm trying to get the man free of the bull. So you probably see the bull in the distance running away with a man. I guess his cloak is snagged on the horn and it's pulling him. Is that the idea? Or
yeah. It tried to gore him. It just sort of snagged his cloak and it's just kind of pulling him along after. He's trying to, he you know, it's been a few seconds and he's already sort of stumbling and staggering and can't keep up.
So I'm running after, and I guess the best thing I could do is send Ebony again to the bull.
Okay, I'm gonna have you make 2 checks. Let's start with a charisma check.
Make sure that I can.
If Ebony like kind of gets the bull to divert just slightly, you should be able to catch up and pull the guy off.
No, I got an 18 and my wisdom is 15.
Charisma, you mean?
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
Oh wait, charisma.
Yeah, it's still the same, I think, because you're at 11 charisma.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna have you make a.
So Ebony tells fuck off, basically, doesn't she?
No, because Ebony's sort of like a reflection of you at this point.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like as your charisma is sort of radiating through Ebony, and your force of will is sort of coming through Ebony, your presence.
So the bull tells you to fuck off, not Ebony.
The bull just sort of charges right past
Mm-hmm.
where Ebony is sort of like descending into its face. You can make a strength check to try to like surge forward and grab this guy off. But I'm going to treat your strength like it's 6.
So I'd have to get a 6 or less.
Yeah.
To try and get this guy off. Because what I was planning on doing was maybe, depending on how far ahead of me it is the alternative would be, I guess, just sort of pole vault. Because I've got my staff. So I could pole vault, and I'm pretty dexterous.
Okay.
But maybe I could pole vault to like either knock the guy off or land on the bull, if that's even possible, if I even got that close.
I think what I'm going to tell you to do is because the bull is picking up speed, because Ebony did not divert it, all you've really got is brute force. If Ebony had been able to divert it, you'd been able to kind of use your speed and dexterity. But let's just treat your strength as an 8, is its normal value.
I'm pushing myself as hard as I can. Ooh, I got an 8.
Wow. Okay. You lunge forward. Describe sort of, you ripping the guy's cloak away? What are you doing to kind of use your throw your weight down and get this guy unhooked from the bull?
Well, I guess the way you're describing it then, it says I just barely made it. I imagine it's a lunge, and I grab the guy probably about the waist and just yank him down so hard that it's going to tear the cloak by the weight. But then we're both going to, go get tossed into the mud. So it's not going to be a really heroic, beautiful thing, but it's going to get the job done.
You are going to take 1 point of damage.
Of course. He doesn't break my fall?
He does not. Well, he's also taking 1 point of damage.
Yeah, sure.
Good old noble Stig, always using the peasants to break his fall.
Hey, I've got noblesse oblige. I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to do the honorable thing.
You are.
I'm saving this lowly peasant.
And then did anybody get a 7? How about a 6?
Well, I didn't get to do anything.
Oh, I'm sorry. Listen, I apologize. I went straight back to Stig after establishing you went fast. First, I apologize.
Is there any way that I can try to run up to Tristan's horse and keep it from running away?
Tristan's horse is elsewhere.
No, you sort of were still. You had not raced. And
right.
Yeah, out of the castle, and I think at this point, everybody in the castle is like, "Fucking Tristan's horse." Lyssa, I think I'm going to need you. What's your approach? What does this look like?
So I don't know exactly where it is, but I imagined like
it is certainly running towards the gate, sort of right behind you, and everybody else is sort of clearing out of the way.
Oh, okay. Then I'm going to. There's probably a well-worn path that leads from the gate here, and I'm going to climb up a tree next to it and be ready to jump on top of it as it comes by.
So normally I'd say just do one thing, but I think that's a really cool idea. So let's start with a dexterity check to get up the tree really quick.
Oh, okay.
Good thing you picked the twin that didn't have climbing as a skill to do this.
Right. So just as a reminder to myself, my skills are stealth, alertness, athletics, and trapping. Does athletics apply? Or I guess
athletics does not apply right here, I don't think.
Okay. Alrighty. So you want a dex check, is that right?
Yeah, just roll equal to or under your dex. And then I'm gonna have you equal to or under your, and we'll figure out let's see how the dex check goes first.
I got a 15, which is under my dex.
Hey, so you're able to kind of pull yourself quickly up into the tree.
Yep. Maybe strength to hold on.
Yeah, I think it's going to be strength to drop down on the stallion's back, and then hold on to it, and then we'll see how you do the next round as far as like bringing it to bear.
Okay.
Is that right? Yeah? So you can add athletics to your strength.
Oh, okay.
So treat it as a 13.
13. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, got a 10.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, you're on the stallion's back, and we will see sort of how you command or calm it down.
Poorly. On
the next round, and then I believe Aitor, what was your initiative score?
4. Gloria had better.
Right. So Gloria, you got a 5.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm just going to check a couple of things. Man, this is a hyper confident bull, but it goes surging off into the forest. Xander seems to have control of the other animals. They're calming down. Or the other animals in the market, they're calming down.
Rip all the horses in the stable.
The horses in the stable are still sort of going berserk. And then, Gloria, what are you up to?
She kind of doesn't care about the bull, and she sees it goes to the forest, and it's like, and she knows that the bull came from the market, so she's just gonna go to the market and just go straight to the source. The bull went to the forest, right?
Right. What do you want to do in the market? now that you're there? As you
Yeah,
arrive, what are you planning to do?
She's just again. I think she's gonna try and just sense magic and just try to figure out where, like, if there's anything that started all this.
All right. So I'm going to have you. At this point, I think it'll take a minute before full sensing magic sort of really starts. But I think with the divine vision this morning and everything. With the divine vision this morning and getting a sense of the impending doom, I think let's go ahead and start with a wisdom check, and tell me how you do.
I got an 18.
All right.
16, right? No
Yeah,
pluses?
that's.
No, I got a plus.
Yeah.
No, there's +2. Is that?
Yeah, this is religious lore too. So this is an 18 is perfect. Usually when I just make a check, you're trying to get equal to or under. But if you have a skill, you bump it up by +2. So 18 is what you need. You know that something demonic is afoot, but this doesn't bear the mark of whisper tongue. I'll let you ask me one question, and you can ask it now, or you can ask it once you've had a moment to think about it.
I'll take a moment. I'll take a moment.
All right. Aitor, these horses are breaking down their stalls. What are you doing? Roland is kind of unconscious at your feet.
I'm gonna grab Roland and go get the medic or anyone.
Just get him out of the stable and away from these crazed horses.
Yeah.
All right.
And shout to get someone to get to like deal with the fucking horses. Like, actually, I'm just gonna grab him and start heading towards where Kristen's horse was going, and I'm shouting, "I'm gonna stab that fucking horse!" and stuff like that, to get attention and possibly get Roland patched up, and also the horses in the stable.
So I'd like you to make 2 checks.
All right.
Let's start with a dexterity check.
All right. Reroll. That is a 14. Over. That's over.
Okay.
Because that's amazing.
So go ahead and make that polymorph check again, or that save versus polymorph.
Oh my god.
So you just want to get a 14.
19.
Nice. Yeah, you're able to, like, you can't really get him up and out fast enough, but you're able to sort of like get behind the door as a few more horses sort of break out and go running past in the direction the stallion went, including one of your father's riding horses, not one of his war horses, but one of his riding horses.
What is up with these fucking horses? I shout out to get people to get people's attention, to make sure that shit gets done.
And go ahead and treat your charisma as 14 because you have command, and you're trying to get attention to you in this from people who are busy running after horses.
7.
Nice. Yeah, you're able to get a whole bunch of people over. And I think we're out of initiative now, unless somebody else had something they wanted to accomplish, because I think Lyssa dispatched Xander with the soldiers to sort of calm the cattle down. The horses have broken free, but you've gotten Roland out. And Stig, you've rescued that the man who was kind of hooked on the bullhorn. And Gloria, is there anything else? And you've got a question you're about to ask.
Yeah, where is the demonic presence concentrated in town? If there's even a concentration.
It's hard to say. But it's definitely flowing away as the sun has come up. It's less of a specific spot and more like vaguely emanating from the castle, but it's fading as the day increases.
Oh, beautiful.
So you think it's got something to do with something in the castle and something at night.
Yay.
We still haven't found out that Ralph disappeared, right?
No, I don't think anybody knows that Rolf disappeared yet. So as people are starting to recover from this animal stampede and getting things calmed down, Aitor, who are you looking for? You've got Roland in your hands.
I'm
Sort of
looking.
paint the scene for me and tell me who you're looking for.
All right. Trying to think of a name.
Or you
Amanda.
just like a job is fine.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the healer or whoever tends to people's wounds.
So you're taking.
I was gonna name her Amanda. Sorry.
Amanda, that's awesome. All right,
Yeah.
one second, let me get that in.
Well, Gloria can heal, but she doesn't go to the castle at all ever, so that's not useful.
Definitely not at night.
Yeah. Or early morning, rather.
Right. So Amanda is the medic, physician.
Yeah, and does she say anything as I bring Roland to him? Sorry.
As you bring Roland in, she looks very grim. And she gets him into a bed or onto a cot and starts sort of pulling his shirt and his tunic and his trousers away. And the bruising on his body is intense. What's the thing you ask her before she insists that you leave?
What do I ask her?
Yeah, what would you like to ask her or tell her before she insists that you leave?
Will he live?
She looks at you and says, "It's possible. I'll send for you as soon as I know anything different."
All right.
What's one thing you want to do, Lyssa? You saw Maricia in the crowd who was almost affected. Oh no, Lyssa, you're on Stallion's back, right?
Yep.
Make a wisdom check.
Oh, okay.
Or charisma, whichever is higher for you.
Whichever
and then just sort of
higher.
tell me.
Charisma's higher, so I got to roll a 12 or lower to be successful.
Right.
I got a 2.
Nice. Yeah. You tell me how you get the horse to slow down.
Well, as it turns out, this is not my first time riding Tristan's horse. I don't think.
Are you supposed to be riding Tristan's horse?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all. And I know that he works best when blinded, like horse blinded.
Right.
So I put my hands over his eyes slowly, and sort of closing off the world, and eventually he starts slowing down and goes into like a the trot that Tristan likes to be important in front of people with. So slows the horse down, and then I'm able to get the horse to stop that way.
Once you've got the horse stopped, where do you go? Who are you looking for? What do you do? You're in town. You're not far from the forest. What's this horse's name, by the way?
His official name is Thunder.
Right.
I call him Applebottom though.
Aw.
And other people call him something else because he's not a very happy horse with other people. So, you said I saw
Marisia
before. Do I see her now?
Yes. Yeah, she's still sort of standing around shocked in the market.
Okay. I call out to her and I'm like, "Hey, Marisia, we need you back at the castle. Why don't you come with me?" And I'm like turning the horse around to start walking it back to the cat. Unless there's still chaos going on. Is there still?
There's still a little bit of chaos, but there's no like active wild animals right this moment.
Okay, yeah. Then I'm encouraging her to follow me back to the castle.
Nice. Okay.
I can make a charisma check if you'd like.
Actually, yeah, make that and treat it to higher. She's a little in shock.
Okay.
And remember, everybody, that you have fortune points.
And how did those work?
They're kind of written on your playbook, but one of the things you can do with them is re-roll anything.
Oh. Okay.
I wish I had that in mind sooner, but okay.
But there's a few other uses of them that are sort of written on the back of your playbook. So, but treat your charisma as a 14 for this check, Lyssa.
Sure. Can you provide a link to the playbooks?
Yeah, one sec.
And I got a 4.
Yay, good rolls for Lyssa.
Nice, yeah. Marisia just nods and sort of comes towards you. It's just like, what can I do for you, lady? And I think we're going to leave you sort of right there. She's looking a little kind of surprised as you speak to her. Stig, you pulled this man off the bull. You got injured. What's up with you?
Well, Stig's gonna dust himself off, or try and get the mud off of him, and pull the other person up and check him out and ask, "Are you okay, sir? You look okay. He's standing up. We need to. If you've got any injuries, you should probably be checked out."
So take it, Stig looks a little like a courtier. He doesn't look like somebody who grew up in the village by clothing and, merely wearing black makes you look a little bit like a courtier.
I'd have to wash my clothes less.
I'm sorry? Stig, what did you say?
You're muted.
Yeah, I said I knew I was muted as I hit it. It means I have to wash my clothes less. But yeah, so I mean, he was. Did I get an indication that he was like a specific target for the bull for some reason, or was he just a random person that happened to be?
You seem to be roughly just a random person.
And it's and I check him out and see if he's ask him if he's okay, and if he's not, then probably walk him up to Amanda.
Yeah, he pulls his hat out of his hand, his hat off his head, and starts thanking you profusely. His spouse comes up and sort of pulls him away, like, don't bother apologizes to you for his bothering you, and sort of pulls him away, and he's limping. And he's obviously injured. But he seems to be mobile.
Okay.
Do you want to make a wisdom check and see if you want to ask me any questions about
him?
Yeah.
I think at this point, actually, I'm going to assume that he's probably okay, unless there was
Okay.
anything to get otherwise. And I think I'm going to also try and sense magic and see if I can get a gauge of what was going on around here.
Okay, so it's going to take you a few minutes.
Yeah.
Much like Gloria, it takes Gloria a few minutes. And Gloria, you're in the midst of trying to sense magic as well, correct?
Yeah, I think we got it. She sensed there's a demonic presence in market.
Right. I was gonna look real quick and see if there's anything else that sense magic, once it's kind of fully in effect, would tell you. So 1 second. That's the one thing I didn't have up.
I have a question. How often do you regain fortune points?
Once per session.
And it's up to max, or just recover one each session?
You go back up to your max. Every session you go back up to your max. Stig, as you suspect, there is definitely something magical and dark sort of hanging over the marketplace. And you see, you and Gloria can't really miss each other, as both of you are sort of standing in the marketplace, trying to sense what's going on. Do either of you have any more questions about what magical is happening? And I think much like Gloria, the signature of this is not like Whisper Tongue.
Right. I guess if I see Gloria, then I'll walk up to her, dusting the rest of the dirt or mud off of myself, and say, "So, you sensed it also, didn't you? There's something else here, something causing this."
Yeah, Gloria kind of like, yeah, just for a split second, she kind of like stiffens a bit just at seeing Stig, and then she just raises an eyebrow, and it's like, well, it's not hard. It's hard not to sense all of that. You've been cavorting with demons lately again.
And I think that is the perfect statement to say for us to take a break. Let's come back at 9:40 Eastern time. I think we're all on Eastern time. So let's be back at 40 after the hour.
Okay, wait. That's not. I'm not on Eastern time.
Oh, sorry. That's 8. Which time zone are you in, Landro?
Oh, I'm in. I think they changed it. It used to be Greenwich Mean Time. I'm in Ireland.
Yeah.
We're 10 minutes.
Oh,
10 minutes.
yes. Yeah. Take a 10-minute break. Be 40 after the hour.
Okay, cool.
I hope you don't mind me eating Skittles right now.
I have way too many games where I have to eat just to like have time to like get food. So wait for a minute to come back.
I need to refill my water bottle. I'll be back.
So we're going to wrap, and Maria's just here, and I'll repeat this, but we're going to wrap pretty much in an hour and 10 minutes. And I am...
Okay, back.
All right. So we're going to wrap in about an hour and 10 minutes, just to have time to do stars and wishes for next week. So I'd love... It's about midday, and I know we've got a couple of wishes I'd like to get fulfilled so that we can sort of keep moving on with the wishes. But I think what I want to know now is, given everything that's happened, I'd like to start with Lyssa and see this morning and afternoon, what is Lyssa doing to talk to people, address what has happened? I'd essentially like to know kind of like, what scene are you putting together, Lyssa, as you try to find out either what's going on, what's happening, what questions do you want to have answered, and how is Lyssa going about answering them? And I'm starting with Lyssa really quickly.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Because I had a quick scene in mind.
Yeah. So I figured that everybody will have things their character specifically wants to find out.
I think if this works for you, Rich, I was thinking that there's probably going to be plenty of people starting to come to the castle to try to get assistance or something like that, to tell the Duke, hey, my stall got busted, or the chickens got squashed, and those kinds of things. And like, I'm learning everything I can about what happened in town via those people like showing up. So like, I've got a place at the table to listen to people complain, and I'm actually sitting there for once. Like, normally I don't do it, but I'm allowed to if I want to.
So your father is actually not taking place. This is kind of in the, this is not the royal court. So you guys are, you have several sort of multi-purpose chambers in the keep. I think one of them would be the banquet hall, where you can also just sort of have people present themselves.
Okay.
Your father has not come down.
Oh, so everybody's just queued up waiting?
Yeah.
Then I want to go find my father then.
And then, well, we'll tell you, Tristan has.
Oh, okay.
Are you taking your place with Tristan? Are you going to find your father? What's the?
Oh, if Tristan's here, then I'm going to assume, probably incorrectly, that my father sent him. So I'll stay here with him.
Uh,
If
and
you
what
want me,
you brought Marisia to the court with you, didn't you?
I brought her back to the castle to get her
Yeah.
the keep to get her out of the chaos.
Right.
I was hoping that I would make up some sort of task for her just to get her focused on something else.
What did you dispatch her to do, or ask her to do?
Um. I asked her to um I made up some bullshit. I told her that they wanted the wines organized by year instead of name or something like that, and asked her to reorganize the wine stock or whatever.
I love this is Lyssa's idea of how to flirt with somebody.
Yeah, no, I don't flirt very well.
Like Richard the GM has no space to like criticize anybody's flirting skills. But I love that this is how Lyssa goes about it. Yeah, so Marisia is in the wine cellar. And she just, she makes an exasperated sigh and she just says, "Your father," and then shakes her head. And sort of goes about her work. She's still clearly in a little bit of a state of shock. And then you go back, and your brother is starting to see people. And it's he tends to be doing this in like small conference, like they're pretty much just lined up, and he starts the afternoon trying to just be consoling and austere. Like he seems to assume that if he just pats them on the head and tells him that the gods will look after everything, then everything will be okay. It doesn't take long for people to disabuse him of that notion. What are you doing as he sort of is not doing a particularly good job at sort of being the lord of the manor? You talked about trying to talk to them about trying to find out more about what went on. What's your approach to that?
I try to get Tristan to ask them more questions about how things happened.
So you're sitting there sort of next to him. And he's just initially just like, yes, tell it to the castle reeve, and once we have a full report, we'll put together a grant. We'll put together a little grant, a charity grant. And they're just, but sir, and he's just like, no. I mean, it's so many people to see, so many things to talk about. And what do you sort of do in there?
Well, it's exasperating watching him do all of this. I know I have a really bad idea. I will try to convince him that I can take over, and he can go do whatever the heck he wants to do elsewhere.
Make a what's your sort of like sort of reason for him to step aside and let you take care of this? What's your sort of 1-sentence summary of what you're pitching him? Like, is it like, oh no, you look so exhausted? Is it, are you being more direct, or
But brother, shouldn't you be overseeing the reconstruction down in the town?
Make a charisma check.
All right. My charisma is a 12.
Just want a 12 or lower.
I got a 15.
Yeah, as soon as you say that, he kind of gives you side eye with kind of an aghast look, and is like, no, there are so many more skilled people to do that. I should be here talking to people. And he sort of gives you like.
So I look around the room. Hopefully someone else is here to help me out here. Aitor, please.
Yeah.
And this is the moment. I think this is the moment when Aitor just fucking bashes. Well, not bashes the door open, but it does. The door like swings open, and he's like walks in, like strides in, very fucking pissed off, and yelling, "Kristen, I'm gonna murder your fucking horse. You know that, right?"
I will point out, Lyssa, this may be this is your golden opportunity to go like, everyone, why don't we move over here, and we'll continue the.
Okay, yeah, sure. I will take that distraction, and if the bait is set, then I will move them over to another room and get them to follow me.
All right, it's a slow process as people seem very confused. And Aitor, I'm going to get to you in a second. What questions do you have, Lyssa, that the common people will be able to answer? What kind of inquiries as they go like, and then all of a sudden all the cattle they just started to buck and bolt, and they followed that bull.
I'm probably going to freak them out by asking them questions that are related to the dissident religion. Things like, did you see any auspices, or what's the word?
Oracles. I've lost my.
Yeah.
The oracles are people.
Portents.
Portents. Thank you.
Yeah, things like that. And so I'm asking things like, did you see a white bird the day before, or were there any rotten tomatoes in your garden, or things like that, stuff that I've learned from the Oracle Nineveh in my talks with her. And I'm making it all seem very arcane and feel like that it all had some sort of mysticism as the source. So
you don't have much training in religion, but I'd like you to go ahead and make a wisdom check, which I think is for you as a 10.
Yeah.
Because they've got all sorts of things that they're now berating themselves for not noticing. And this is really to help you sort of sort out what would be useful versus what is like, well, the sheep poop was especially green, or anything like that.
I got a 1. I got a critical success.
So
if that's a thing,
what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you 2 things that were seen or heard. 2 things that were seen or heard.
You can come back to me on that if you want.
Yeah. Well, actually, I've got 2. I've got 2 to mention to you right now.
Oh, okay.
One is that about the time you fell asleep, and there's no clock, so it's very much by moonrise and moon. There's a few clocks, but you certainly didn't have access to them up in the nest. And the farmers certainly don't have access to clocks very often.
Sure.
So they're pretty much telling it by moonrise and moonset and location of moon in the sky. They're telling you that at the same time last night, which is the time you're pretty sure you drifted off, it seemed like the moon was freakishly large. And all of them woke up, or most of them woke up to the sound of cattle just lowing. And that's about the time you had the dream last night, you think, roughly.
Did this also happen the night that the ghost horses came through?
They don't have memories of it.
No, the ghost horses was I think 3 days before then. This was also the night. This was also the night when Aitor got his ass kicked by skeletons.
Sure. Right. But I was asking if 3 days ago, was it also a large moon and the cows also doing the same thing? Like, is this a repeated pattern is what I was looking for.
So that's a question I'm going to answer in just a moment. But before I forget,
yes.
Several of them talked about having nightmares the night before. That's what woke them up and helped them notice the cattle were lowing and saw, they saw the position of the moon and all that other stuff. Because they had nightmares that had each of them was different, but all had like one weird thing that was common to your dream. Either the voice, the sound of the voice, the look of the person, the questions it asked. Something about that dream was common to yours.
I see. Okay.
And each one of them, they were all different, possibly because they've been sleeping longer and it mixed into their other dreams. But all of them have at least one, or many of them have a dream that had much in common with yours. Now you get a lot of junk, portents as well. The color, the bread burned and there were crows in the corn and things that happen all the time anyway.
Okay. I mean, I ended all by asking them to approximate like the value of the things that they've lost and actually do some real consideration of what has to happen to make this right. But
right.
I really wanted to know the oracular pieces of it.
And the question you had for me, repeat it so I don't misremember it. Because you were just asking a question when I said I wanted to make sure you
were they the same importance as the night? Was the moon especially large and the cows lowing the same night as the horses came?
It could not have been. It would not have been visibly as large. I mean, a full moon always looks strikingly large because it's a full moon.
Sure.
And 3 days before would have been like a half moon, not a half moon, but something closer to a half moon than a full moon.
Waxing, yeah.
Yeah. Something around a 3/4. But no, says one of them. It was the horses. The horses were just not resting at all. We couldn't get the horses to calm down. You don't get that as much because fewer farmers have horses than noble people.
Sure.
A lot of them have donkeys or mules, but very few of them have horses. But the wealthier ones, definitely.
Okay.
Certainly, the man who runs the market has several horses, and he's got a long list of complaints. And mentions that last night it was the cattle, 3 days ago it was the horses. Someone has upset the deity. He is very certain. It's those damn religious heretics, if you ask me. Aitor, you are causing a scene with Tristan over there.
Yes. So so you want me to continue?
Yeah. So picking
Alright.
up from like where you got everybody out, so you can continue yelling at him. What is the gist or summary of what you're yelling at him?
The gist is that your horse almost may have gotten Roland killed. We're not sure if he's gonna survive or not, and you're gonna pay for it.
And his initial responses. His initial response is 100% pure Tristan. He just sort of makes dead eye contact with you and looks at you and says like, "Oh, good God, little brother, it's just a stable boy. They're not that good in bed."
My God. And that's when I get up to his face and pretty much punch him. I punch him.
Roll a d20, and you can add your strength bonus to it.
Bruh.
And 1.
What is a strength bonus?
So you'll add yeah. So add 1 to it.
All right. 1. Okay, so let me reroll. That's 16.
He flails back at you rather wildly, and you realize he has been nipping wine all morning. And roll your damage. Just throw a d4 out there.
Okay. I am going to throw a d4 out there. That is 2.
2?
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely land right on the nose. Before the Xander and the other mercenaries sort of step in to try to separate the two of you. Are you going to try to keep wailing on him, or are you going to try to are you just going to assume you've made your point, or do you have more to say?
I think I want to kind of get a hint on what, does he know anything about why the horses were acting so weird? Get a sense of whether his answer meant that just as a snide remark, or or if he actually knows something more.
So why don't you you can tell he knows very little more, but I'm going to have you roll a wisdom check.
All right. That is a 13. Does subterfuge apply?
Sure.
Okay, then yes, that is exactly what I need.
Nice. Your brother is a loudmouth, clueless asshole. But that's not news to you, Aitor. I'm sure. I'm guessing correct there, right?
That is not news.
Right. So your brother, the loudmouth, clueless asshole, knows nothing about the horses. You might guess that the number of times Lyssa has taken his horse out, that he has rarely, if ever, ridden that horse, except when he has to show off.
Okay.
But among the other people who surge forward, to sort of separate the two of you, is Randall Westerfield, the visiting Southern dipstick who had harassed Gloria previously.
Oh, that asshole. Okay.
Yeah.
What does he say?
You see him, he doesn't really say anything out loud to you, but you see him sort of whisper sort of affectionately in Tristan's ear, and sort of put an arm around his waist and sort of pull him away. And still holding his nose, Randall sort of leads him by the shoulder out of the hall, and Tristan is just glaring at you, and Randall is not looking, just sort of like guiding your brother out of the hall, kind of with hand actually in the small of his back, not on his shoulder, just kind of right into the cape on the small of his back, sort of like steering him out of the hall. And Tristan is just glaring.
Okay. All right. So Tristan glaring isn't anything new, so.
Is there anything you say or yell or do as he leaves the hall?
I glare back because that's nothing new as well.
Right. Where do you spend the rest of your afternoon, Aitor?
I will go to Lyssa now, since I realized that she has ridden this horse more than Tristan has, so she might have more of an idea of what the hell is going on with the horses.
Okay. I'm going to skip over real quick to Gloria, but we will pick up with a, there's a line of people to see Lyssa. So let's skip over to Gloria. Gloria, what are you doing to sort of figure out what's going on, or to address the needs of the town, or what is Gloria working on right now this afternoon, or late morning, early afternoon?
I was actually thinking she was just gonna head to the castle, because part of the magic was sense that it was concentrated at the castle.
Right.
Sorry, go on.
I'm just saying, once there, who are you looking for, or are you just looking for a quiet place, or?
Actually, I think she's standing on the threshold, kind of like at the start. She right before she's about to enter castle, she's just trying to summon up the courage to go in, because she's kind of remembering the whole whisper tongue thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And sorry.
Have you, since Whisper Tongue, have you sort of progressively had the nobles come out of the castle to consult with you?
It's more like she's just avoided a lot of people. Like, people will see her in the market and in town and whatnot, but not inside the castle walls itself. So this is kind of like her first time coming back.
Right.
And it's been I was looking through the notes. It's been a month since that. But at some point, she just kind of like, no, she has to go in. So she's gonna walk in and just kind of determinedly headed. Well, I guess once she's inside, she's gonna try and just sense what's happening around the place again. That's okay.
Okay. Stig, what are you up to now?
Well, since Gloria whipped out that line that if Stig was still consorting with demons, I imagine he sort of got into a huff and probably went to the tavern to have a drink. And I think this is probably when he'll discover that Ralph isn't around anymore.
Indeed, Rolf is not around, and people are giving you side eye. Not everybody. Certainly not people who know you well. But even people who are normally friendly with you seem a little shy about being overly demonstrative about it today. You get a feeling that maybe before you walked in, people were talking about you.
So I'm sure he'll walk in and, sort of blustering. He's not particularly charismatic, if I recall. So he probably can't walk in and say something along the lines of, yes, it's me. Yes, the one that consorts with demons. Get over it. And says, can I have an ale? And then goes up to the counter to get an ale. And you can thank me for stopping the market.
All right. Yeah. You go up to the counter. I'd like you to treat your charisma as a 9 and check that.
$18.
Okay.
Did you hear that?
Yep. I am.
You're calculating my damage?
Yes, I'm calculating your damage right now. No, not calculating your damage. Calculating the damage to your wallet.
So calculating your salt.
Yeah. So as soon as you say that, Stig, you notice that male is sort of standing right there. And it's that awkward thing where you don't really see him until after you've sort of shot your mouth off. And then you see him. And who's Rolf's assistant? I'll open this to the group. Just name me an assistant innkeeper.
His brother. Why don't we have it be his brother? Torin.
Nice. Okay, Torin. I think this is the point, Stig, in which you notice that Torin is behind the bar and not Rolf. And Torin looks you dead in the eye and just goes like, "Yeah, well, I think that'll be 5 gold or 5 silver. Yeah, 5 silver."
But that's robbery. What are you talking about? It's never been that expensive. The crops have been fine.
Yeah, and the two people in front of you literally just put like a half silver, like the thing that's like the weight of like 4 pennies, but kind of melded into one coin on the bar, and that's what they've been paying for their beers with. And yeah, Torin reaches over, takes their money, serves up their beer, and looks at you and said, "I said 5 silver. Did I stutter?"
Well, I guess I need to find another place to make beer. Or maybe you need to open my own place. I can certainly learn to brew beer as well as you can. And I think I'll turn around and walk. He's gone bright red since he noticed that Mael was there, though. But he's going to maybe try and make a subtle gesture to knock out. And whether Mael follows or not is something else.
Make a charisma check.
Because I don't get experience by charisma checks though. When I fail them. That's an 8.
You got an 8?
So that's even at the -2, I still make it.
Yeah, with Mail you don't have a -2.
Well, I'm in the tavern, so I'm supposed to have a -2, but even with that, I make it.
Yeah, but it's Mail.
Yeah, maybe I get lucky and he takes out an ale for me. Wouldn't that be nice?
Are you storming out? Or are you storming to sit on the steps? Where are you going right now?
Not so much storming out, but turning and walking out, and then probably trying to figure out where he's going to go next, because I guess this is probably the only tavern in town.
This is, if you don't want to drink in the castle, which means drinking wine. Yeah, or really fancy beer that's not sweet, and is really heady, then it's pretty much here. And you walk out, and where do you go? Or where are you headed?
Then probably back to the castle. I guess there's not much else to do here after feeling so shamed by that, not having figured out, I guess, where Ralph went.
Yeah, so I think as you start to head up the road to the castle, are you moving fast? Are you moving slow, or
Not particularly fast. Probably deep in thought about the different things that have been happening, and why didn't Mael come after me?
and that's like yeah, you storm out, you start heading up the castle, or you don't think you stormed out, but you know, when they tell the story, everyone's going to say you stormed out.
Sure, slam the door, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, really it was the wind. God damn it, why does the wind have to be an asshole at just that minute? But everyone's going to say you slammed the door, you stormed out, and you start going the long road. Not that long, but you know, it feels long right this moment. Back up to the castle. When you feel a kind of a lightweight tap on your shoulder. Gloria, you've come back inside the castle walls for the first time in a month, and you're looking around. What are you looking for? What kind of hints? What kind of omens? What kind of signs are you looking for as you study the castle with your sense magic?
Actually, do you mind if I kind of roll that back a bit? I think when she goes into the castle, she's kind of very stiffly walking around, she's making a beeline for the temple, as in just so she doesn't have to really take in stock that she's back here again.
Right, right.
Yeah, and yeah, so her mind's not still enough to really sense magic until she reaches the temple, I guess.
Okay. Now, Kyrie is not actively worshipped in this temple, at least not under that name. But it's a lot like, it's a polytheistic religion. There's nothing heretical about, the new gods. And I don't think the old gods have ever told you to stop worshiping the new gods or anything like that.
I do think Gloria probably has a bit of a snooty opinion of the new gods because she has proof that her gods exist.
Right, yeah. So, there's nothing really like wrong about it, but it's sort of like, oh, yeah, I'm 16 and I know what's going on.
Yeah.
Or 17 and I know what's going on.
So yeah, I think she walks up to the temple and kind of slips in. It's kind of like she was very unconscious, just walking towards it, as if that's like just because that's the one place she can look down on compared to the rest of the castle. So it's kind of like, I don't know. It's like not the safe space, but I guess the one where she's least likely to be. I don't know. For something to happen to her to basically trigger an old memory.
All right. And this is where you start sensing magic, correct?
Yeah.
So there's lots of little things going on. There's little shrines sort of all around you. There's lots of curtained off areas which only like priests are allowed to go like make sacrifices at altars, and most of them are like people bring in like sheaves of ryegrass and burn it with incense to like and people are already starting to show up with to make like just general sacrifices to the gods as they do in any troubled times when they're just like, oh, let's start being pious in hopes that the gods will protect us. And so you see them sort of like in sort of like, prayer position in front of lots of, public shrines. And then they're sort of stacking up like, sheaves of sacrificial, like, grains. A few of the wealthier people are bringing in like doves for the sacrifices. And you're standing there looking around. When you see you get the sense that there's something dark underneath the temple. And just like the old gods, the new gods have lots of gods of light and darkness associated with worship. So it's not uncommon to sense a dark presence, but there's an immediate dark presence somewhere coming from below the temple itself.
Is it the same as the one from the market?
This seems to be the emanation point from what you were, or you're over the emanation point for what you were sensing in the market.
Okay, so I think Gloria is gonna, once she senses that, she's gonna slip out of the temple and go find Aitor or any other friendly face in the castle. Just very quickly.
I think as you turn to go, and you're very close to the door and almost free of it, you hear Sherry's voice just go, Gloria! Gloria, I've not seen you in forever.
Yeah, before she leaves, Gloria just turns and sees Sherry and just like... she's stammering like I'm stammering right now. It's like, hi, Sherry, yeah, hi. Hi,
And she comes up and gives you just a gigantic hug. I was so worried about you. I heard about the Vizier and it was so terrible. I'm so glad you're safe.
And Gloria is gonna, again, very stiffly, like, hugs her a bit and it's like, yeah, I'm fine. Didn't know you were worrying about me.
Of course. Aitor and Lyssa. Aitor, you've been waiting for Lyssa for a bit. Or are you trying to storm in and like wave at her? What's your approach to dealing with all the people who are lined up to talk to your sister?
Judging by lines that have been this big in the past, how long will it take?
It's going to be an hour or two, maybe 3.
All right, I can wait.
Certainly, the courtiers who were with your brother earlier seem significantly relieved that Lyssa has taken over.
Yeah.
Like Lyssa has made their job significantly better.
Yeah, I'll wait.
Just on the magic of not being Tristan.
The magic, yes.
Has made the courtiers' lives better, and but you're waiting and listening, and Lyssa's waiting. I'd like both of you to make a wisdom check.
Oh joy, more checks. That is a 19. I will spend my one of my fortune points so I can reroll, since I'm gonna get them back next session anyways.
Nice. Okay.
3.
Lyssa, how is yours?
Well, I got a 20 to beat the 19 of my brother.
Oh my! I got a 3 now.
Lyssa, do you want to make a wisdom check again, or do you want to just let your brother sort of handle this?
Well, I have actually more fortune points than most.
And you will get them back at the beginning of next session.
but I'd like to see how Aitor handles this. So I will not reroll.
So I think as the session is starting to wind to a close, Lyssa, your father's assistants are nodding at you very approvingly and thanking you for your assistance and for swooping in to help them. None of them say anything about Tristan at all.
None of them say anything about how Aitor punched Tristan either. Apparently.
Right. None of them are mentioning anything about Tristan at all, but they're all profusely and pointedly thanking you for your competence and generosity.
What
And
do I notice? Since I already knew this.
Aitor, I think you notice as you're listening to the last few people, and you've been overhearing a lot of them. And then you're looking, it's not hard to see what the clerks are writing down. No one has said anything about the bull. No one has made a claim about it. No one has indicated who it belonged to.
Wait, there was a bull involved?
In the market, yes.
Well, Aitor doesn't know that because he was too busy handling his manhandling partner.
That's true. That's true.
So he has no idea about the bull thing. So
I think it would not take long for you to find out about a bull leading the charge, though.
All right.
So you've definitely noticed that none of these people have claimed to be the owners of the bull, to know anything about the owners of the bull. No one is bringing up where the bull came from at all. Is there anything you want to ask your father's advisors before they sort of make their way back to their offices and apartments?
I'm gonna ask about the bull. In that case, there's a bull that was leading the charge. Who was the owner? Do they need reparations for it since it ran off into the forest?
And some of them look at you sort of like, well, no one's shown up with a claim about the bull.
Is anyone missing?
We've not taken a census, but Lyssa, you can jump in here too. I assume you are right there.
Sure.
I don't think Lyssa knows that Ralph is missing either, right?
Right.
Okay.
So
I think at this point, it's been 2 or 3 hours. It's
okay, so word got around.
Yeah, I think word has gotten around that the innkeeper has shown up. Has not shown up for work today, or been at the inn, or been in his home.
Aitor, I've been listening to these people for a while now, and no one's mentioned the bull. Maybe the owner died. Did someone die today?
Did Ralph own a bull?
Ralph
did not own a bull. Like a lot of people, he definitely had cows.
Oh, okay.
Is Ralph?
But this bull was sort of there were other bulls in the market, but this was a prize bull, sort of.
Wait, if it's a prize bull, then why does no one claimed it? And
all your father's advisors look like, what? Like, are you going to bring this up now? Rolf did not own a bull. Like a lot of people, he had a cow.
All right.
Mainly for making cheese, and he would hire studs out to breed with his cows, but he never owned a bull or tried to keep one. He's got a fairly small yard near the inn.
So there's rumors that Ralph is gone, right? That's what I've heard, right?
Right?
All right. And but he doesn't own the. I'm talking to Lyssa.
Okay.
Lyssa?
But he doesn't own a bull, as far as we know.
Let's go find the bull's owner and see what's going on.
It was a prize bull, and I'm looking at at the advisors.
Screw
Like,
them. Let's go.
all right, fine. Let's go. All right.
So we want to head into town and find the bull's owner.
By the way, I think I wanna do a real flag scene real quick by saying that between the time that I talked to Lyssa or I punched Tristan, and then at the time I talked to Lyssa, I went to the wine cellar too and saw that all the wine bottles were out of place. Can I do that?
Yeah.
Quick scene. So I'm like, and I'm gonna ask Lyssa. Hey, Lyssa, have you seen Marisha lately?
Oh, yeah. She was in the wine cellar, I think.
Ooh, do you know why all the wine bottles were out of place?
Out of place?
We sort them alphabetically, not by year.
Oh. No. I don't know why.
All right. I mean,
Yes,
you-
I know why. Yes, I told her to do it.
why did you tell her to do it?
She was all freaked out from what happened, and I wanted her to have something to do, and so I told her to do that.
Why do you have to tell her anything so she can calm down? She can calm down on her own.
I'm allowed to care for people.
And like he's literally raising his eyebrows like as well. So Aitor is rather. So it's like, yes, you are allowed to care for people. Lyssa.
Let's just go to town and find this bull's owner.
Sure.
Stig and Gloria. Stig and Gloria, you both sort of, Gloria, you're coming out of the temple just as Stig is coming back from the town.
I'm still in the middle of a hug, right?
Yeah. Are you sort of in the doorway getting a hug? And being the middle of the day and being an old stone building, the temple keeps its doors and windows open to keep the sun from baking the structure. Stig, your mail has been very much like offers you a bottle that he's clearly taken a few swigs out of, and then tells you that if they're going to start charging that kind of money at the end, I need to make friends with people who know where the free booze is. And he kind of gives you a punch on the shoulder.
A punch that would probably send me sprawling, but
yeah, he's not he's not hitting you that hard, but
yeah, I know, but he's a smithy's apprentice, isn't he? So
yeah.
So yeah, and yeah, that I think Stick sort of laughs at that, and sort of that breaks the awkward moment. He said, "Yeah, that's Ralph will fix it when he gets back. That's all blow over, I'm sure." I mean, they can't hate me forever, can they? I mean, I know I'm different, but this isn't like when we're kids anymore, right? We're not kids anymore. I mean, this should pass, right? Anyway, yeah. Do you want to go up to the castle now?
And he's like, it's where the free stuff is, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I think we can. I think Aitor or Lyssa will let us down into the wine cellar. We can probably snag something. It shouldn't be a problem.
Um, Gloria, Sherry is like, well, I should, we should talk at some point. I've just been so worried about you.
Yeah, Gloria kind of breaks from the hug, but she's holding Shuri in her shoulders, and she's like, I'm sorry I haven't been around in a month. I had to I had to deal with what happened, but we should catch up, you know. A lot's happened in a month, you know. How you been?
Oh, well, the heretics are, that oracle keeps making claims about the temple being defiled and that silliness, all that absurdity. That you can't defile the gods.
Yeah, Gloria just nodding, and it's like, that's it's very annoying. Is that like the biggest change you've seen around the temple?
Oh, well, there's lots of the nobles, they get more or less pious as the year goes on, as they want things, nobles. She sort of rolls her eyes at you.
Yeah, and Gloria just laughs nervously as well. It's like, yeah, I know that, I know the feeling. Um, it's very nice to see you, but I kind of have stuff to deal with. But look, seriously, maybe later today you could just hang out and talk about theology and stuff.
She's like, well, that'd be lovely. That'd be lovely. We should go for a walk.
Like right now, or
Tonight, or this evening, or, just whenever.
yeah, tonight sounds that sounds lovely. Yeah, and Gloria is like, kind of like, yeah, again, releases like her what was probably a very iron grip on Sherry's shoulders, and kind of like swiftly turns around and then looks back, waves goodbye, and then turns back and says goodbye, waves goodbye again, and then
I think by the third time, Shuri's just not, she's kind of turned and gone back in.
Oh god. Yeah, and then Gloria just like,
and then you
power
just
walks
sort of
away.
like,
Yeah.
you just see, that's when you see Stig in mail.
Yeah, and Gloria sees Stig and just and kind of like, it's a different sort of nervousness now, and she's just gonna watch from afar.
Stig, are you trying to get in the wine cellar?
Yeah.
You definitely see Gloria sort of watching you.
Um,
Unless you were trying to be subtle. I apologize.
well,
I think she's very not subtle, and she's not in a very subtle frame of mind.
Right.
and I think Stig would wave at her and sort of invite her over.
Yeah, I think Gloria will. She kind of like makes a non-committal shrug and walks towards you.
Yeah. So, Gloria, Mael and I were gonna go get some wine. It's been sort of an awkward day, and some wine would be nice. And the tavern, Torin won't let me have any ale for regular prices. So yeah, we're gonna go get some wine. So you want to come with us?
You know what? Some wine would actually help being back at this place. And she's, again, very not subtly looking at you and Stig. It's like, yes, I'd love to come with.
Yeah, don't worry. It's not, the castle's much better than it used to be. It's
I'll take your word for it.
What do you mean by that? There's nothing. Is there something? Do you know something I don't know? You didn't. You back in the marketplace. You were implying something. Maybe you don't want to come with me. I mean, or maybe we want to talk this out. But I haven't been doing anything with demons.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you need some wine. Let's go get some wine before.
I need some wine. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I need some wine. Yeah.
And Mail's like, I think you need some wine, bro.
Yeah. Let's go get smashed. That bull almost got me here. That was a bad thing. And where
Lead
were
the
you
way.
when that happened, Mail? I mean, that was like right up your alley. You're a big buff. You could have like gone and stopped that bull or got the guy off instead of me having to throw myself into the mud.
Are you? Wow. Yeah, Stig, why don't you make just a charisma check?
Nope. Missed that one by one.
Would you like to reroll? We're using fortune points.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Why not? Well, a miss might be more interesting in this case, but yeah. I mean, I've got the fortune rolls. Why not? I'll use a fortune roll on it. So it lets me re-roll, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm. You just reroll.
There are other options to that, though. I forget what.
Yeah, there are some others.
Wait, did it do the same thing? I don't believe it. It looks like it did the same thing.
Why don't you hit reroll again?
Sometimes I can't tell. Okay, got an 11. So that works.
It's like, look, I'm sorry I wasn't there for you. Do you want me to leave?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't. Sorry, I wasn't. That wasn't meant to be negative. That was more along the lines of, it would have been great if you were there.
Yeah, I wish I'd been there. But you were the hero, weren't you?
Doesn't feel like it.
He looks pretty chagrined and like he's feeling guilty.
Yeah, don't worry about it. And I think I think I'll
Are
put
you?
one arm around his shoulder, which is probably a little bit above mine, and one around Gloria's, and say, let's go get drunk.
Are you guys sneaking down to the cellar?
Sure, why not?
Let's start with Stig. Treat your dexterity like it's 16 and lead them down.
Because I have stealth.
Yeah.
Cool. Gotta get some use out of that thing, right? 18.
Do you want to spend that fortune point again, or do you want to?
Nah, I want to get caught.
Okay.
Let's say that I drank a significant amount of the wine or whatever it was that the male had given me, and it was stronger than I expected. So it's not.
Right. Well, Mail meant for you to share that bottle, not for you to chug it. Yeah, you're like this way, and then the cellar is filled with the cook's assistants and the steward's assistants who are trying to figure out who rearranged the wine bottles before dinner, because apparently the Duke has sent down a special request and no one knows where Lord Hector's favorite wine is. And both, the Duke and the Duchess are having dinner privately in their separate rooms. And both have ordered their favorite wines, and nobody can figure out where they are. And several people are insisting that Maricia be called because somebody has rearranged the wines, and everyone's confused. and luckily she's in the castle right now somewhere. Aitor and Lyssa, what were you heading off to do?
I thought we were going to find who owned that bull, right?
Unless we had stopped doing something else.
Unless we stopped on the way with the commotion. I don't know.
I was gonna so I think we're gonna say that the only lead you have on the bull, and this is getting towards evening, but the only lead you have on the bull
It's Stig.
is that it is where it headed to.
Oh, the forest?
Yeah.
Alright. Wait, do we know that Stig was the one to stop the bull?
Yes, you do know that Stig was the one to stop the bull.
Then I guess I'm personally gonna look for Stig and see where the hell, if he can describe the bull, so we can go set off into the forest trying to find this bull.
Stig, is it all right if they find you being ordered out of the cellar with Gloria?
As long as they let us take 3 bottles of wine with us, I think we'll be okay.
Do you want to check your dexterity again to see if you can just lift them?
We could do that, or I could just ask Aitor and Lyssa to bring 2, because I think they would be allowed.
Right.
Sure. Can you give them 3? Well, 4 actually. 4.
Yeah. Come on. We'll have fun.
Aitor, I think for 4, I'm gonna have you roll your charisma, Aitor, not using command, because this is
not using command.
not using command.
Using command.
I don't know. You did punch Tristan today.
I did punch Tristan today.
Your sister is with you, so maybe you and your father and mother have not come down from their rooms all day.
Wait, so command?
So yeah, let's add command in.
I got a 5, so yay. We got free wine.
Yeah, I think it's partially that they're distracted, and partially because nobody wants to mess with you right now.
Nobody wants to fuck with the guy who punched his brother in the face.
Right? Yeah, you punched. I mean the children of dukes are called princes, or the heirs apparent of dukes are called princes. So you punch the prince in the face, and
I know a special place where we can go and be like alone and not bothered. I have a map of the place, and I know secret tunnels.
Are we gonna get skeletons?
No, we're gonna.
Also, this is the first time you heard Aitor mention skeletons, like all of you.
Oh, you actually say that?
We all know about the skeletons. This is a small town.
Wait, but the skeletons happened the night before.
Right, yeah.
This was like during the whole.
Servants did come dispatch them. I think maybe that most of you don't know that Aitor was the one who was
who found the skeletons.
Yeah, who the skeletons found or found the skeletons.
Well,
so I'm like, I hope it doesn't have skeletons. I really hope it doesn't.
I'll take care of you, dear brother.
Oh my god, I'm not a baby. I'm not a baby. I'm like your age. Literally your age.
I think at this point, Stig has gotten one of the bottles open, some way that's not quite clear because he doesn't seem to have a bottle opener with him, and he hands one to Aitor and says, "You need this. Drink."
Yes, I need the entire bottle. Yes, I agree. I take the entire bottle and start chugging it.
So, are you following Lyssa?
Yeah, I'm following Lyssa to the place I've tried to climb.
No. I'm taking us someplace else. Something that's
another place.
Yeah, something that doesn't require dexterity for us to get to.
Okay, good.
Or to get down from.
Right, exactly. We're not going to get drunk and then can't get down from the tower. No, let's not do that.
Get drunk and then fall off the tower.
So I
No.
think as you were, it sounds like you were leading them into the crypt of the temple
Okay.
that goes under the confession area.
Yeah. That sounds great.
Is that where you is that what you were thinking of?
I was.
Or did you have something else in mind?
No, I didn't have anything in mind.
Okay. That's what I was when you said you had a map, that's what I was thinking of, is you were the one who got under the temple and
Well, yeah.
was-
It's on my character sheet. I think that I have a map. Of the
I
place.
got under the temple and got the banner.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
But yeah, I take us to the whatever evil place you want us to go to.
There's so many evil places, Mark. So you're going down to the Gloria. You notice them going down to the crypts of the temple. What do you say?
Yeah, I just like go, wait. Look, there might be evil there. I kind of detected a thing. Kind of the same thing in the marketplace. Probably not the best place to get drunk at.
I agree. I fought skeletons and lost here. I was also shit-faced. Let's not do that again.
Oh, I didn't realize that everybody was a bunch of scaredy cats. Okay, I guess I'll find.
If you want to get your ass kicked by skeletons, then yeah, sure, go ahead, do that. You're only like third in line or something.
There's 4 of us. What could possibly go wrong?
I don't mind going to evil, scary places, just not with wine, you know?
Wait, whose flag is that?
That's Lisa's flag.
That's
Yeah.
Lissa's flag.
Stig is like, I think Stig will look at Lyssa and say, yeah, let's go. Mail, you with us? This could be an adventure.
Oh my god, Melly's still with us!
I'm still here.
He's like, yeah, it's free.
Aitor doesn't take much convincing, I think. He's kind of like half drunk already, so it's like, wait, fine, I guess.
Dora's rolling her eyes and is like, I can't believe I was safer at the graveyard than this place.
Quiet. You really need to try some of this wine. It's great.
Yeah. Gloria's just gonna grab that and takes a big chug. It's like, and hands back to you. Fine, evil place, whatever. It's been a long day.
So I think we're going to end with the 4 of you late afternoon as the sun is starting to set, leading yourselves down into the crypts of the temple. Now, the crypts of the temple are not where, as far as you know, where nobles are buried. It may be where priests are buried, but there is an under area of the temple, and we will find out what's there, I think, next week. So I'm going to, and I think that's a good place to stop. So I'm going to stop the broadcast.